Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for the heads up, man. Hey, how you doing, bud? Dolly, how you doing, bud? I saw that you friended me as the stream was starting, man. Thanks for that. It's been a long time. How you doing, man? There we go. Yeah, what's up? What's up, John? And string cheese. Cool. All right, I think everything's operational now. My camera looks really weird to me right now. I look very green, very pale. So I don't know what the deal is with that thing. I wanna mess with it, but it just looks odd to me. But I can't really, it's not changing anything. I can't see it, so. Oh, you know what? It's changing the other. Oh, that's weird. It's actually changing my other camera. That's dumb. Something got messed up in my OBS. What would happen if I did this? That's weird. It's only connected to my one camera. That's bizarre. Alright, well, I'm just going to leave it for tonight. I'll have to adjust it later. It's a little pale looking. I'm not that sick looking right now, so. Anyways, hey, Dr. Feelgood. How you doing, man? So, alright, back to what I was talking about. I am going to work on the box art for the card deck, and then I will probably go back to that Boba Fett rendering that I was working on and play with that for a little bit and just talk about that. So other than that, I can't think of anything else. I'll start giving you guys the story on what happened today. It was a crazy day, just put it that way. It was pretty nutty. So I will tell you guys that story in a bit, kind of let people filter in so everybody can hear it. Let me show you guys something real quick though. I posted this on Instagram, and if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram account is just below, and you can find that. And follow me on there, and you can see I pretty much post daily on there. Sketches that I do, whatever. Actually, it's all artwork for the most part. I very rarely post anything else on there. I like to keep it that way. So, yeah, let me show you guys the. Let me bring it up here before I show you guys everything. You know what though? No, I didn't composite it in a. At first I was thinking, did I composite that in my phone? But I didn't. Let's see here. Here we go, card deck project, final artwork. And boom. This will give you a good view of it. Alright, let me turn it on here. Alright, so this is the final card art for the Jack of Spades so far. Some of the stuff, I need to fix some spacing here. I noticed that this is kind of off compared to this side stuff, but that's some easy adjustment. So that is pretty much what the cards are going to look like, all the face cards. They're all going to have different cards on it. And then each one will get unique middle pieces. So all the jacks will get this one specifically because it relates to the gasser cars, and then the kings, the queens, and the spades are. I'm sorry, the aces are totally different. So you have the kings, the queens, the jacks, and and the jokers. So they'll all get something different, and so that's that. And so tonight, you're gonna watch me from the very beginning to start to design the box itself now. So go back to that. And then as I move along, go ahead and ask any questions or anything like that. There's definitely, like, I haven't seen Dolly. I haven't talked with him in a long time. He's a fellow car designer and video game freak himself. So, yeah, we used to talk to each other quite often. It was fun, man. I'm glad he came to the stream. So it's good to see him. This was just from the other night. This is all final artwork for the cards, as you can see. This is one of the, if you haven't seen them on Instagram, this is one of the aces. And then all the aces actually have engine shapes according to the suit. You're writing and sketching at the same time? Right on, man. That's cool. So let me get my reference images here. So I'll show you my reference that I'm using. You guys have, probably several of you have seen this already, but this is some of the reference that I'm using for tonight. Obviously all engine stuff, old artwork, and then that was the rough to the card, to the Jacka clubs, so. So anyways, I'm gonna start drawing and talking and stuff like that. So what I did here is I did do an initial box for myself, and this is the actual sizing for the artwork so that I'm getting correct spacing for the box artwork and everything. And the cool thing is I just recently made friends with a guy on Instagram. What's up, Mrs. Chicken Scratch? That's either my kids or my wife, and my guess is it's probably my kids. So what I was thinking for this, this is going to be pretty rough, and I'm going to try to lay this thing out so it's pretty symmetrical. So I want to, obviously laying it out so it's symmetrical is pretty important on the backs of cards. My guess is I'll probably have to do some Photoshop tweaking after I get it done, just to make sure that it's all correct. So I'm going to give myself some more guidelines here. Straighten up a couple of lines. So did anybody go see Civil War this weekend? My wife wanted to go see it on Mother's Day. I won't give any spoilers so nobody has to leave, but just wondering if anybody saw it and what they thought. I thought it was pretty cool, my personal opinion. Yeah, you liked it? Right on, Dolly. Hey, straighten up a couple of lines. So did anybody go see Civil War this weekend? My wife wanted to go see it on Mother's Day. I won't give any spoilers so nobody has to leave, but just wondering if anybody saw it and what they thought. I thought it was pretty cool, my personal opinion. Yeah, you liked it? Right on, Dolly. Hey, tell me if I want to make sure that I am pronouncing your name right. Is it Dale? Dali? Dali? Dali is correct. Okay, cool. Yeah, I thought the movie was pretty cool too. It had some neat stuff in it. I thought Spider-Man was pretty cool. I hope they do more Spider-Man in the future. Like Salvador Dali. Oh, okay. Right on. Then I am saying it right. That's good to know. So how you been these days, man? You keeping pretty busy with the website still and everything? Let's do 3.5. So here's my thoughts. Yeah, the Ant-Man stuff was great fun. Yeah, that was cool. I don't want to give too much away though. If people are watching it, they haven't seen it. Oh, right on. So staying busy with websites, full-time design work in the auto industry. Oh, cool. You're still doing stuff for the auto industry? Well, that's good to know. That's very cool. What kind of pencil am I using? This is just a Staedtler mechanical pencil. It's nothing like super special or anything. I might even bust out a marker for this, to be honest with you, because I'm gonna lay the really rough shapes and everything. Let's see. Then for markers and stuff, I just use good old Prismacolors. Used to use them in school, still use them today. They've always been pretty reliable. Never had any major problems. They go down good on paper. I like Copics too, but they're obviously a bit more pricey, so I don't use those quite as often, but I do like them. Have I found that different notebooks have different sketching feel? Yeah, I have. I mean, this one's called the Strathmore Tone Tan. I've used this for a long time. The other sketchbook I use is actually a tone gray, so it's all gray inside. But these both feel very, very similar. It's like Canson paper, you know. And if anybody's ever interested too, I actually offer my sketchbooks for free. They're actually located down below on the Sells icon. If you click on there and you just go to the store there, and you can download the sketchbooks. I actually have my third sketchbook scanned in, but I haven't uploaded it yet. But yeah, as far as feeling different, you know, in all honesty, Dolly, I haven't used a ton of different sketchbooks. Probably about, I'd say, 2 years ago, I really committed to like sketching every day, and before that, I never had a consistent sketchbook. So I had sketchbooks all over the place that were, you know, had 3 or 4 pages done in it to, you know, half of them done, and I never really got used to any of them until I bought these. And what I like the tone paper because it gives you a mid-tone right off the bat, and then you can go straight to dark and light, so you can get tone really fast on the mid-tone stuff. So, and then I like using a white pen, and obviously when you use white pen, it's really nice on this kind of paper. So some of my thoughts on this, I probably should have drawn more, because I'm gonna probably use what value is this? 50%. Let's go 40. I want to probably draw several. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do a bunch of shapes and stuff on here. Let's do 30. So I'll go ahead and start telling my story today. First, it was a little bit of a rough day for work. A lot of you guys, I don't know if you know what I do, but I'm a designer for a motocross company during the day, and so I design a lot of protective gear and stuff like that for the industry. Really fun job. I love what I do, and I work with really good people. But my company's actually based in Idaho, and I work out of my house. So today my boss was talking to me, and he was telling me all this stuff, and I was like, man, why didn't I know about any of this stuff? And it was kind of really bothering me. I was like, man, what happened? And why weren't you filling me in on all this stuff? Well, as soon as I get this email kicked back to me, and it says your email box is full, and I found out all these emails that I had been sending and not receiving, I wasn't getting anything. And so, long story short, I had to clear out my email box. But it kind of, and I'm setting up this story because it kind of leads into my whole day. And so that happened this morning, and I was kind of feeling frustrated, and then found out it was pretty much, my fault that I hadn't cleared my email box. So anyways, I got that all done. Feeling a little stressed about that. And then later on in the afternoon, I hear my kids yell to my wife, "Hey, there's some weird guys out in front of our house." And so I shoot, I keep getting the wrong marker. And in my head, I'm just, my boys mess around and stuff. I didn't really think anything of it. And then all of a sudden I hear my wife come running out, and she's yelling at somebody out in front. "Hey, get out of here!" And so luckily my window's right here, and I can see directly down in front of our house. So I look out in front of our house, and I see these two guys standing in front of the car, and my wife is yelling at them, "They just broke into our car." And so my fight or flight reaction lit up, and I was ready to fight. So I grabbed my pocket knife out of my drawer. It's not just a little pocket knife, it's a good sized pocket knife. And I go storming down the street after these guys. Probably the dumbest thing I could do. I wouldn't suggest everyone do that. And so I run after one guy. My wife takes off after the other guy. And so I'm running after this guy, and I'm like, "Hey, get back here. What'd you take from our car?" And he's like, "We didn't take nothing." And so just as soon as I get up to the guy, he runs through a neighbor's backyard, and he hops the fence. And then he goes over into the other neighbor's fence. And that neighbor that he jumped over, he heard all the commotion going on, and he came out, and he's like, "Man, what's going on?" I said, "This guy just broke into my car and took some stuff, and they took off." And he's like, "Oh man," he goes, "and he just jumped in my backyard?" I said, Yeah. And so that guy actually got away. I couldn't catch him. And then I think my senses did kick in. I was like, I better not chase this guy, because I don't know what he has, or he could take me over or something like that, or pull a gun on me. And so my wife is gone, and I'm like, I gotta go back and get my car and find her, because she went after the other guy. And so I get in my car, and I find her. She's down the street, and she's yelling at this guy still that's taken off, but he's just like moseying along, barely walking. And so I pick her up, and there's all these papers that are like, as soon as she comes around the corner, she sees all these papers spread all over the ground. And so she picks them all up, and she starts looking through them, and come to find out it was some guy's like handicap registration thing for like a handicap placard. And then not only that, it had like tons of his info in there, a lot of private mail. Basically, they had a ton of information on this guy. But luckily, the guy had dumped everything out of his bag, and so she picked it up. And so the guy gets around the corner, and I go, let's go after this other guy. Let's see what his deal is. We find him, and I pull over. I'm like, hey, dude, what were you doing in front of our house? And he's all, he goes, I don't know who that dude was. But after a little while, my son later on tells me, he goes, oh, no, they were both walking together. And I said, what are you talking about? I go, you don't know who that guy was that went running right in front of you? And you acted like nothing was going on. So even my wife was like, yeah, right. That's just bull. You know who that was. And so and he goes, man, you can check my bag. I didn't take anything from you guys. And I said, all right, let me see in your bag. He shows me, he pulls out a bunch of junk. He had nothing. Because basically he had taken what evidence he did have and threw it on the ground. And so we take off, and we finally we call the cops and kind of let them know what's going on. And so they come and file a report, and we give a description of the guy and stuff like that. And the cop's like, nah. He goes, I know who this guy is. He goes, yeah, we've had him in a few times. And basically just telling us that he had dealings with him before, like for theft and drug use and all this stuff. So anyways, the rest of the afternoon, I missed a bunch of work. I didn't get all my work done, so I literally have been working until I started this stream to try to get some stuff out because I was so behind. And I'm just because most of that time I was just so amped up on adrenaline, man. I just was like beside myself most of the day. So anyways, here I am. Glad you guys are here. That's my story on what happened today. It was very eventful. And hopefully I can get some progress done on this, man, because I am still like just feeling the adrenaline going. So that's my story for the day, man. little show and tell. But I got a feeling those guys probably won't come around again. Oh, and I didn't even tell part of the story. He actually ran off with our garage door opener out of our car. I think he was trying to find an easy target. And then later tonight, the neighbor that the guy had jumped in the backyard found our garage door opener by their gate on the side. So, yeah, Dr. Feelgood sounds like a great start to the week. For sure, man, for sure. I'm realizing, if you guys hear a lot of noise, we have a ton of people over right now. My wife is doing some stuff with some ladies, and all those ladies brought over a bunch of kids, so it's a little crazy out there right now, and I'm kind of glad I'm in here right now. So anyways, how's everybody else doing, man? How's your guys' days going? I'll find some. I had another piece of reference here. Ah, no, that's not it. There it is. So I'm thinking here, what I'm kind of thinking is I want to do 2 engines on both sides and flip them. And then I'm going to do a lot of engine parts around that. Oh, my wife just came in. Oh, never mind, my son did. What you need, Gage? Yeah, Dr. Feelgood, no one was hurt. I got a feeling these guys will probably not come around again just because of the fact that we challenged them, and, you know, the neighbors were out looking for people and the cops were running around. They were looking for easy targets. Basically what the cop indicated is that they were stealing stuff to buy drugs. It's too bad. But I don't know. Probably if I rethought about all what I did, I probably wouldn't do that again. And although I will say, by what we did get that guy's paperwork back for him. You know, that was a lot of personal information and a handicap placard. You know, that the guy was probably expecting. So that all got worked out. So yeah, I'm glad I'm drawing with markers right now because, like I said, my mind is still way out there. But my kids are definitely amped up and stuff. They were, I know my one son gets a little worried about that stuff, and I just told him that guy probably won't even come around again because he'll be too scared because everyone challenged the guy. So yeah, it's I've definitely had an eventful week. The weekend was crazy too. I mean, just busy stuff. I mean, nothing crazy happened over the weekend. Just a lot of housework and a lot of manual labor and stuff like that. But all good stuff, you know. All good, doing some cool stuff to the house. Give myself room for the carburetor. I need to lower that a little bit more. Kind of deciding on how big to make this engine. Let's turn this over now. I feel like the engine needs to be, although I'm going to be reducing the size of this thing. Okay, hey, thanks a lot, Dolly, for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. That was, it's cool to hear from you again, man. Even though we're not chatting. We'll have to chat sometime, dude. We'll talk, dude. Take care, man. And then Dr. Feelgood. I meant with the crash, but that's still good. Hopefully it was a kick in the butt they needed. Yeah, to stop messing around with the neighborhood. With the crash? Yeah, there was no crash at all. They just broke into the car. I mean, actually, the car was open because my wife had just gotten home and they opened the door. So, I think that's what you're talking about, Dr. Feelgood. So what I'm trying to figure out is the engine size on this thing. So oh, no, for me, comment further up regards. Oh, how the week's been. Oh, I see. Oh, somebody crashed into you. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a bummer, dude. I got you now. Oh. Yeah, crashes are never fun, man. That's for sure. I almost want to do some, like... Well, I don't want to get too crazy because I guess it is hot rod themed, so... I was thinking of Indy pipes, you know, how the pipes kind of intertwine and stuff on Indy cars. Or actually F1 cars. Yeah, I guess Indy does it too. But I want to get some pipes in here this time around. Whoa, you're already at 30 hours for the week? Dang. Do you get overtime at all for that? That's right. It's morning for you now, isn't it? Okay, let's go with that. I think we're good here. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. I'm not sure who that was. Oh, Intruder Timmy. Thank you very much, man, for the follow. Appreciate it. Let's go a little bigger with this so I can see it. So you're getting bonuses before the end of the financial year yet. Just crunch time. Oh, it's afternoon for you now, Dr. Feelgood? That's cool. Okay. Let me, I think I'm going to use my black pencil right now so that people can see it. It's him. He's found you on Twitch. Why? Hey, thanks for the follow, Wild. Appreciate it, man. Starting to get a few people rolling in, huh? Everyone just missed story time. Missed the action of my day. What I'm working on right now for the people just joining in is a rough sketch right now of a card deck box idea, and I'm creating a card deck all with hot rod themed stuff. So right now I'm roughing out an idea for the box, like the artwork like this right here. So, oh, thanks, Wild. Appreciate it, man. Do you follow me on Instagram, or how do you know me? It's always nice to find out from people. So some things I'll exaggerate and other things I won't. But getting some proportions here and stuff. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow, Shashbrook. Shashbrook. Thanks, man. Getting some people rolling in. I wonder what's... Did somebody send you guys on my way, or just catching up with the stream? I do now. A friend stumbled on your stream and recommended I pop in. Oh, right on. Well, thanks, Wild. I appreciate it. Do you stream yourself or anything, or do you do artwork? Actually, that probably could go a hair taller now. I'm looking at that. So yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with what this is that I'm working on, so I'm creating a whole card deck based on hot rod themed stuff. If you take a look at my Twitch below, or not my Twitch, I'm on Twitch. If you look at my Instagram account, which is listed below, you can see some of the images that have been finished for the actual card deck. So Oh, thanks, Intruder. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Yeah, so tonight, if you guys stick around, I know it gets late for a lot of people, and I understand that, but this is about the best I can do for streaming times right now. Maybe in the future I'll be able to do a little earlier once in a while. On the weekends, maybe. But I'm going to work on the Boba Fett hot rod that I drew. If you guys haven't seen it, that's kind of in my past streams, and again, that's also on my Instagram account, if you guys stop by and check that out. So... So I think around this engine, what I'm going to end up doing is a bunch of engine parts, probably like I did for the other card. No, I can't find it. Oh well. It's going to be similar to this. Like these engine parts here. And that'll be all kind of all in the background here. Right now, just doing the rough layout. So. So is Shashbrook, husband of APU nursing school buddy of Christy Wendy. Wait, what? No way. Enjoy seeing the... Wait, so the husband told you to come here, or you are the husband? Oh, I get your name now. Never mind. I know who this is then. Right on, dude. That's cool, man. little slow tonight. You'll have to rewatch my stream to hear the crazy story that I had today. It was it really mentally taxed me. Well, hey, good to see you here, man. Yes, I know, Steve. I got you, dude. That's funny. You know, it's funny. I was just talking about you guys. I was telling my wife I'd like to go to another conference thing down there by you guys, and it'd be fun to stop by and see you guys. Oh, thanks, Wildside. I just saw your comment there, man. I have everything going on my phone right now because I need to get a second monitor, really, so that I can see everybody's stuff. I need to get it up here. So, are a bunch of people here, like, in the cars and stuff, or just, like the artwork, or... I'm always curious on how many car people I get in here. Gosh, you know, now that I'm looking at this engine, I almost feel like I want to turn it around now. Well, the beauty about Photoshop is I can change everything here if I decide to. Right? Hey, Zaber, what's up, man? My future muscle car sketch. Oh. Wow, that is a long time ago, Dr. Feelgood. That was. Is that the, Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was, I actually did that originally for Hot Wheels, and, I think I left right at the time as I drew that, and I never, and they actually canceled the thing that it was for, so I just took it with me. And then I ended up finishing it as a personal project. That's cool. Yeah, that was cool. I actually like that artwork. That was pretty neat. I need to do more of those, more future muscle car things. It's always fun. Yeah, the one under the bridge. That's what I was thinking of, for sure. Let's see here. What else can I do for engine parts? I struggled with that one piece or not really struggled. It just took me a while to get a good feeling going on with some of that stuff. Is this what I used? It's 50%. Oh, what do I do now for work? Since I'm not at Hot Wheels, I'm a designer for the motocross industry. I work at a company called Fly Racing, and they do motocross gear. So my main thing is I'm in charge of like designing helmets. So it's kind of funny because I really don't post a lot of this work, but I have a lot of experience with helmets. I've designed helmets for several companies, and then protective gear too. I have a little bit of my protective gear on, I think on my Behance account. I think I put like a one of the knee pads I designed while I was still there and stuff. And I don't know if I have any of my helmet stuff on there. I think because what happens is that I don't post that stuff very often because I have a job in the industry, and I can't take that kind of work because it'd be a confidentiality agreement type thing that I can't do for freelance. So I post more of my vehicle stuff, and I can do freelance, for toy companies and things like that. So that's why you don't see me post a lot of that. And then if I ever need a job in the motocross industry, I've got all my stuff that I just show that portfolio if I need to. But most of the time, any industry you get involved in, you find out how small it is, and everyone knows where everyone's at, and if they know you're looking for a job, they give you a call. So it can work out pretty well. Yeah, Hot Wheels is a cool place though, man. I love my job there. I quit there because the commute that I had was just, it was killing me. I was commuting from about 2 hours away, one way, so I'd spend about 4 hours on the road. It was awful. I left on really good terms. I ended up, after I left, I still do freelance for Mattel every once in a while. I got to know a lot of the people there, and a lot of people have left too. But a lot of people have been promoted to like, VPs and directors and all that stuff. So I'll get a call from people once in a while. It's kind of cool. I feel like with engines, there's a lot of circular pieces. You got bolts, you got, cranks, and you've got pulleys and all that stuff. What are the job aspects for creative industry over there like? I know things are pretty dry over here unless you want to scrape by on freelance. That's a good question, Dr. Feelgood. It's I'd say the market's it's not easy right now. A lot of I've talked to a few guys, and I've got friends too that are that have had to take other jobs doing other things because the design stuff wasn't there. I mean, I have to say I feel pretty blessed that I've been able to do what I do. I will say one of my biggest things though is that I try to stay on top of stuff. I try not to get stagnant with my with my drawing skills. I'm always pushing myself. Like even things like this, of just keeping my name out there and kind of creating my own brand as well. It's nothing I can make a living off for my family quite yet, but it's a tough gig. I actually did freelance for about 6 years on my own, and it definitely burned me out. I was doing well at it, and the other thing that helped me out quite a bit is that I remained in two fields. So I stayed in the motocross industry, and I also stayed in the toy industry, and even put my foot out into the video game industry. And so when I had my own freelance business, I was able to do work for all three of those industries at once, and it really it helped me out quite a bit. So I think you can't be a one-trick pony, unfortunately, and you have to get really, really good at what you do. I mean, because I found that people want experience, and I think companies have found that if they hire somebody young, they have to retrain them, and they don't have as much to bring to the company yet. I mean, it's tough. But the people that do have the knowledge, they can bring them in pretty quickly, and they can start running really fast. So it's interesting. Are you doing it to make money, or is it a passion to put a product out like a card deck? Well, it's actually, I'm glad you bring up that point, because there's a really good story behind this card deck, and I'll tell you that in a second. But as far as bringing out my own product, I've actually done that in the past. I self-published 2 books. I gathered a bunch of hot rod artists together and put together, it's called the Masters of Chicken Scratch. If you haven't seen it, I know this is like total promo for myself, but I have a store icon below, and I have prints and t-shirts and stickers and books and all that stuff. So I definitely have a desire, like you said, to bring out my own product, and I have used that to make a little bit of money on the side, and it's helped fund things like doing like this. It's helped me produce prints, produce more books, things like that. So I love that as being a creative and coming up with your own product. I love that aspect of it. But the card deck actually stemmed off of another friend of mine. They actually have a charity, and it's called Redeeming Love. And their charity is actually it's starting a home for girls coming from the sex slave trade. And I have a passion for helping out people. And so really this card deck, all the proceeds are going to go to their charity. The only thing I'm getting out of it is probably a little bit of rep and hopefully some followers. But other than that, all the proceeds are going to go straight to charity to help out their organization of starting a home and finding people to help these girls out when they, to try to acclimate them back to life, so that they can function as hopefully a normal life again. So that really stemmed this whole card deck. And my friend knew that I did a lot of hot rod art, and he's like, what if we did like a hot rod themed deck? And I'm like, dude, I've wanted to do that for a long time. Let's just move into that and let's do it. So thanks. Dr. Feelgood. So, yeah, and if you don't know a lot about me, I am a Christian, and a lot of that stems off of I just feel like I need to help with God's work and helping people out and doing that stuff. So I have a heart for that stuff, and it's cool to get to use my talent to do things like that. It's a good meld of a whole bunch of stuff. So, but yeah, I'm glad you asked that. I get to share some of that stuff that I don't always do, but it's cool. It's cool. I do enjoy it. And then eventually too, I know I've had a few people ask me about doing another book, because I actually had volume 3 in the works at one time, and I had some great artists lined up in it too, and I could probably contact them all back again and say, hey, are you guys interested? And just to let you know, some of the guys I had in there were like a couple of concept artists from Weta. They work on a bunch of Lord of the Rings type stuff. They're all from New Zealand. There was 2 guys in there that I was going to do. Another guy named Nate Greco. He's a tattoo artist, doing really well, and his hot rod stuff was so cool. He did this whole series based on crashed cars, but they were all like iconic cars, like like the Echo one, or I just forgot the name of the Ghostbusters car, Ecto one, and like the Batmobile and things like that. It was really neat. Then who else did I have in there? A guy named what was his name? A guy out of the UK that does really neat watercolor stuff. Martin Squire is another guy that I'd like to get in there too. He's got some phenomenal work. Oh gosh, I can't remember his name now. He'd kill me because he's done some. We actually traded artwork at one time. Super neat dude. They'll probably do. You know what? I need to draw a border around this. I kind of forgot about that. That's okay. I can still get that in. So what time is it? It's 10:14 already. I wanted to move on to that Boba Fett piece, but I feel like I want to get a little more done on this. So Dr. Feelgood, where did you see my artwork originally? Because that would have been a while ago when I posted that. That was probably like DeviantArt or something like that. I just remembered I have over 100 Hot Wheels. That'd be awesome if you made some of them. If you have 100 Hot Wheels, Zabertech, yeah, I probably have, man. If you want, actually, you can go. If you go to my Behance link down below on my portfolio, I have pictures, I think, of the majority of the Hot Wheels I did. So if you go in there and see all the Hot Wheels, you can see what you got. Yeah, DeviantArt, Dr. Feelgood. I kind of figured that's probably where it was, because, I mean, really, there wasn't much around back then. I ended up moving more stuff to Behance. I felt like it was a better platform for me. You still check out DeviantArt much at all, Dr. Feelgood? Kind of curious what people think of that now. No, not in a long time. Yeah, I just felt like it was kind of like that. I felt like I got buried there in the midst of everything. You know, like there was lots of just stuff I didn't really care for, and it's a good platform. It's just I felt like it lost. You got lost in the system on that place. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too, Dr. Feelgood. You had to sift through a lot of stuff to get to the quality work. But I mean, people got to start somewhere too. I'm not knocking it, but I think for getting noticed and trying to get freelance, I felt like that place was not my best option. So yeah, I totally agree. Since I've been in a job from studio to studio, I usually keep my work to myself. Oh, really? Do you? You don't like to post much stuff? You don't want porn, you want car art. Yeah. I guess that's probably my general consensus too. That's funny. And there's definitely still some really good artists that are active on there, and I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I saw a big jump go to Behance there for a while. I feel like it slowed down a bit because for a long time on Behance, the way they ran it is they actually looked at your portfolio before you got on there. I don't think it's so much like that now that Adobe has it because they want tons of people on there. But I still feel like it's a pretty good platform for getting for coming across other professionals and stuff. It's pretty good. DeviantArt felt like it's 5% incredible. Questioning what's wrong with people. Oh, that's funny, man. That's hilarious. Yeah, and very, very interesting. I agree with that. You know what? I'm not going to pull this stuff out yet because I'm still roughing in everything, so... I do feel like I want to turn those engines over, though. I don't know why. I feel like they'll look better the other way. So you'd see the top of the engine here. Yeah, that almost feels better instead of this way. Oh well, we'll keep going with this for now. Let's not follow that line there. So yeah, back to the... It's you were also talking about just doing some products for myself and stuff. It had been a while since I had done something. Zaber, you're eating Cheetos again. I still have your Cheetos in the the rendering, the Boba Fett rendering. My kids thought that was the funniest thing that I did that. The other night, just to fill everybody in on the story, Zaber was eating some Cheetos, and he was on late with me the other night, and I was drawing that Boba Fett thing, and he wasn't feeling too good. And he said, man, I'm not feeling too good, but I'm going to eat some Cheetos anyways, so I asked the question, what do you guys think my rendering needs right now? And he goes, a bag of Cheetos. So I put a bag of Boba Fett's eating a bag of Cheetos in there with his sitting on his hot rod, and then he wiped the orange cheese stuff all over his pants and stuff. It was quite funny. But back to what I was saying, I keep losing my train of thought because of the Cheetos, man. Yeah, so anyways, so when I was on my own for 6 years is when I kind of did those books as kind of supplement income. And I was traveling to several hot rod shows, mostly out here in Southern California. But I did get to go over to Belgium and France, got to go to a couple of hot rod shows over there, and that was super cool. I went to this pretty good sized hot rod show in Belgium, and it was at this big mansion. It was really cool. I don't know if I don't think they do that anymore at the mansion anymore though. I think they had to move it, but it was in Ghent, Belgium. And then I went to France and did a hot rod show at this cool little downtown area. I think it was just, if I remember right, I think it was just south of Belgium. And really cool, like, just old, French city. It was really neat. And they had the whole place decked out in 50s stuff. They were all singing, like, all the classic rock stuff and from the 50s and everything. It was pretty wild. It was trippy. It was like walking around in the US, but I was in the middle of France. And even the Belgium thing too, come across all these guys see these 55 Chevys going down the street, and it's crazy. A lot of fun though. So during that time I did these 2 books, and had a blast doing it, man. It was a ton of work, I'll say that. There's no doubt about it. Learned a lot about the print industry, learned a lot about just marketing, self-promotion, all that stuff. It was a big undertaking, but now that I've done it, it's kind of fun. I'd probably do it again. Like I said, I might do the book thing again sometime, who knows. I have definitely all the resources set up for it, which is cool. And like I said, I'd probably invite a lot of those artists. I like books that have compilations of several artists in it, because it allows people to see, several different styles and just kind of experience other artists, maybe other artists that people hadn't heard of, or even, and I know that kind of when I did those hot rod art books, just the car industry was kind of going through a lot of turmoil, and there was a lot of students coming to me asking me a lot about the hot rod industry just in general and design. And I think people were a little bit fascinated with just the fact that you didn't have to take a car design job at one of the big, the big car manufacturers. There's a lot of other things you could do, like for instance, Hot Wheels, I had a lot of guys coming to me asking me how to get into Hot Wheels and get into the hot rod industry and stuff like that. It was kind of cool. But yeah, I'd love to do a book again. Just talking about it gets me excited. But I want to get this card deck wrapped up. Oh, do I have a favorite builder? Oh man, that's a good question. Roth or Foose? I mean, Roth. I definitely has his place in history, and I'm sure Foose will too, because he definitely built a lot of iconic stuff. I've never been a big Chip Foose fan. He did some cool stuff, definitely for its time, and I kind of haven't kept up with him now. I don't know what he's doing. I know he's still building hot rods, but I'd say, gosh, who do I like out there right now? I have a good friend of mine that's actually a hot rod builder, Aaron Broughton, and he owns a company called Foothill Fabrication. I love the stuff that he does. It's just very classic, but just very detail oriented. You know, he puts details everywhere that you wouldn't even notice. You know, unless you knew about the car or mechanics and stuff, or finish quality and stuff. I actually I like a guy named by the name of Steve Strope. He's a big muscle car guy. Yeah, Dr. Feelgood. He's the guy that doing Scott Truck. Yes, that's him. Steve Strope, actually, he has done a lot of muscle car stuff. He got big. He still does a lot of really just tasteful modifications to muscle cars that I think are some of the best out there. He'll combine genres together, and he definitely has a lot of the same thought process that I would if I built some of those cars that he's done, and I love that about his stuff. And to be honest with you, we've actually become good friends. He was a big factor in helping me promote my second book. Cool dude, man. Full of energy. Like him a lot. Who else? There's definitely some really good builders that I see, bringing some really cool stuff at the Grand National Roadster Show and some of those hot rod shows. I'm trying to think of Hollywood Hot Rod. Hollywood Hot Rods have built some really cool stuff. I believe they use a designer. He's an architect. He goes by the name of Eric Black. He does some really neat work. If you guys haven't ever seen his hot rod work, it's phenomenal. Really good stuff. Have you thought about building something from your designs? I've seen the guy building that single seater, yeah. But have you thought about making? Oh man, I would love to make one of my own cars, but I mean, what it comes down to is I've got a family, and it's hard for me to just blow all that money on building a custom car. As much as I would want to, about as close as I can come as I can build a model. I built a 5th scale model of that car that guy's building right now. I mean, I have a 67 Bonneville right now that I can't even finish, so I don't think I'd really want to start some crazy project car. I just don't think I don't really feel like I would have enough of the time or the resources to get it done. And it would drive me absolutely insane. So I kind of take on what I can do. But yeah, deep down inside, I would absolutely love to do that. I mean, something like Scott's done. For sure. Yeah, big money. Oh my gosh, what design would I build? Well, the funny thing is, the one that guy's building is the one that I probably would have built, because when I designed it, that's pretty much what I had in mind, was making it so you could physically build that car. And it would be based on a belly tanker out of the salt flats. But other than that one, oh gosh, what would I do? If I was going to do a car, I'd probably redesign something out of my head. Because a lot of the stuff that I draw too, you know, is like so sci-fi that you wouldn't even be able to physically build it, or some of the thought behind it. I don't know, that futuristic muscle car would be one. I think that'd be pretty sweet. Use a base like of a Challenger or Charger or something like that and go from there. What else? Hope that guy lets me drive it through the McDonald's drive-through. Yeah, that would be sick, man. The thing is he's like so far from me, and I don't know when I could ever end up back where he lives. So I think what's going to happen with this design is I'm going to shove this up here, and I'm going to take that engine and lower it, and I'm going to put the engines facing opposite like that. I like that better. It just feels better for some reason. I wish I could change it around right now, but I can just scan it in and throw some stuff around, so. Yeah, what other design would I do? I like I said, I've always wanted something like that belly tanker thing. I guess what the other thing I'd like to do too would be build a big hot rod like that I could take my whole family in, something like I don't know, an old Suburban or an old do some type of like, I don't know, buy some crazy military truck or something like that. I'd love to do a van. I think a van would be cool. Thing is about being a car guy, you fall in love with so many different cars that I think you could almost take anything. If I had an unlimited budget, you know, I could probably do some pretty cool stuff. And I'd certainly hire my friend to build it for me. No doubt about it, man. Because that guy has so much attention to detail. The other thing is he doesn't really draw, but he's a very creative guy. Like he knows proportion. I think that's probably a big key thing is when somebody knows proportion on a vehicle, and I don't know if you guys know what that means, and you probably do. Most of you probably know what proportion is, but if you don't, it's basically like you take the things around it and it all has a relationship, you know, like. For instance, the proportion of this engine, it's not too big or too small, and then you have all these other elements around it. What is that? Does it feel good? You know, like for people that don't understand proportion, most people can look at something and know whether it feels good or not. And if it doesn't feel good, it's probably unbalanced or doesn't have a good proportion. And my friend, like I said, he can draw simply, but he can look at something and figure out the proportion, and he knows it well, like how to run a wire, you know, in relation to everything around it. He's just very good at that. I guess you could call it attention to detail too, you know. He's just really good at that stuff. And when you talk about proportion on car design, you know, it's what's the relationship of the hood to the glass to the stance. You know, that's the stuff that sparks emotion, and for people to like it is when you get proportions down. Yep, yeah, absolutely, Dr. Feelgood. That's you got it, dude. And it becomes like this, almost like this sixth sense, you know, when you do it long enough that you know what needs to change or be shifted to make something look right. Sometimes it takes a little bit too, like you got to come back to it and figure it out. And I don't always get my proportions right, that's for sure, but I get them close. I usually try to get them close. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop there. I think it's 10:36. I'll probably work on my Boba Fett car now. Probably not super late tonight, guys. I actually have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning because I have another errand I gotta do. So I promised my brother I'd take him to the airport, so I'm not gonna make it a real late night tonight, but I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna leave that there. I like the direction of it. So basically what I'll do is I'll take that, flip it to this side, and then I'll take that image and flip it to this side, and I've got a box design. Or actually this, if I'm gonna flip it that much, this actually might become the back of the cards. I might do that. Actually, this is probably a better back of the card design now that I think about it. Because the box can be more asymmetrical. It doesn't have to be even on all sides. So that will probably become the back of the cards now that I give it more thought. So, all right, so I'm going to move to some digital stuff now. Work on the Boba Fett. Man, my camera's bothering me. I like green to me. Grab this as some of my reference stuff. Let's move this over too so I'm not like way in the corner for you guys. Here we go. Okay, don't need that up anymore. Here we go. Boba Fett. So I got this cool image right here because I liked all the busyness of it, and I thought it looked kind of like if you rotate it sideways or something, it kind of has the you know, I like all these individual details and stuff. You know, I was kind of thinking of, you know, this stuff here. I got to start creating some noise in the background basically for this image. And I'm probably just going to keep it really, really loose right now. And then I'll probably go back to the car some. I'm going to bounce back and forth on that, but I want to get a little bit more volume to this image right now. Figure out some stuff here. Surrounded by pod racers. Yeah, totally. Actually, I want it to be like this, maybe it's like a Boba Fett's gang or something like that, you know, I don't know. Like other hot rod type stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm already yawning. That's not good. Little dark. I don't want that dark. So do you guys do much digital work or traditional, or what's your preference if you had to choose when it comes to doing artwork? Oh man, come on, dude. There we go. Hey Steve, you still hanging out in here? If you are, man, I was gonna ask you how you found me. Kind of curious. Yeah, those allergies. Wish I could. My mind just doesn't think in big paint colors right now. I envy those guys that just start throwing in huge blocks of colors and start making stuff out of it. I just marvel in that. There's this guy by the name of Mr. Jack that I watch. He's a concept artist for Blizzard, and I watch that guy just take these big, paint splasher, digital paint stuff and start making some of the coolest stuff out of it, man. It's like, whoa. So good. So good. I think because my background's so industrial design that's how my mind still thinks is in line. Another guy that I like too is Craig Mullins. His stuff is super cool. Let me check something on my OBS here. Whoops, wrong one. Yeah, I've got all that stuff on. Okay. I wonder what happened if I... Still not getting it. Huh. Oh well. Another one of my favorite digital painters ever. I haven't seen as much work from him, but a guy named Craig Mullins. You know what? I bet this is really soft right now. I didn't think about that. I was a little far from my mic, guys. Were you guys hearing me? So one of my questions was to you guys is, do you guys like doing traditional or digital or a little bit of both or no preference? What am I gonna do here, man? I feel like, let's see, this is like, I don't know, some big industrial building that they're maybe next to, or so what does a big industrial building look like in Star Wars? Oh, the volume's fine. I didn't switch down my chat, so I didn't even see that, Dr. Feelgood. I'm sorry, man. Oh, okay. So you wish you could sketch quickly, but you love 3D modeling, yeah. Shaking heaps, etc. Pencils aren't my mates anymore. Yeah, I still love pencils, man. Like, I'll take a pencil any day anymore. It's kind of funny because when I was in school, I mean, shoot, we were still using markers and everything. Kind of the digital era was just kind of starting to come in its own during that time. And I dabbled in it. I dabbled in using Photoshop for things and stuff like that. And when I did it, people were like, "Whoa, that's a trip, man! You did that in Photoshop? I can't believe that. That's just crazy," you know. I remember doing like this photoreal rendering of one of my car designs, and it looked phenomenal on the wall because it was like, you know, high res. I was able to get it printed out at like this poster print place. I will say, man, the prints back then were so expensive to do. Stuff has gotten so much cheaper now with the way that the digital age is. And so these guys were, you know, it was expensive for like a huge print. And basically what it was is they wanted us to do renderings on a 20 by 40, so 20 inches by 40 inches, which is big. I mean, that's, what is that? I don't know what that is in millimeter or meters or whatever, but it was massive. And so to get that printed out, it was a bit pricey. So I think a lot of people shied away from it back then because it was so expensive to you know, to present. And so I only did like, you know, 1 or 2 renderings like that, and then I started doing smaller ones to keep the cost down, because doing those big ones just did not work out for the pocketbook, especially as a student, man. It's not like you're loaded with tons of money. Now, when you got to, the cool thing though at Art Center is that when you did get to upper terms, you got to get sponsored projects. So the company that was sponsoring the project, you'd get some of your material costs covered, but it wasn't near the amount that you spent. I always spent way more than what I was getting back out of the sponsorship. So I can remember some of my first digital paintings though. Oh my gosh, it was a major struggle bus though, man. They were so bad. I remember one of the things I did in Photoshop, because I mean really there were no tutorials or anything like that, or other artists using it very often for like a design tool. And I remember one of the first things I drew in there, it looked like it was supposed to be this spaceship interior, and it looked like a bunch of planks of wood put together. It was so bad, man. I still think about that. It was such a crack up. I just remember struggling trying to get things to look right. I was halfway decent at using markers, and man, we had to do these big old 20 by 40 renderings out of marker and chalk and gouache paint. We did like big old gouache paintings then and stuff. I did all right with that, but man, when I got to the digital, it was just, ugh. That was kind of before we knew about, you know, you could do texture with the brushes and things like that. It was funny though. They were horrible. Not missing anything in chat, am I? I don't think so. I think everyone's starting to split. It's probably getting late for everybody. By the way, Dr. Feelgood, I went back and looked at your car, man. That thing is so cool. That has a lot of unique features to it, that's for sure. Is it easy to get in and out of? I'm kind of curious. Check that all the way down. It's not crazy. You learn to get in and out with dignity. Does it have like a cool remote so you can like open it from a distance and then can you run and like jump in it like some crazy action movie or something like that? That's what I can envision. You're like running towards it and that thing's all lifting up. Zzz. You'll find a good scale pick. It's tiny though, huh? I love that car, man. That thing's so cool. I almost feel like I should have put it in my like a perspective grid or something like that, but yeah, it looks like everybody's quitting out, man. I think everybody's going to bed now, huh? I know I've talked to a few people and they're like, oh, the stream's too late. But, oh well. I mean, the cool thing is I can tell that people are definitely watching it back. The video on demand section on my thing. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know that, you can always go back and watch these videos. It actually saves all your old episodes. Now I know they don't stay on there forever, but some of the ones I will post to YouTube, ones that I think that are worthy. So perfect time. Let's check it out, man. Let's check this out. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, that station wagon next right there, that's probably the size of my car. Oh, I can't zoom in? Oh man. That's awesome though, man. So are these other cars yours too, or is that like a neighbor's cars or something? What can I make in the streets? I don't know, man. I feel like if we did, I'm trying to think of like, might be interesting to do some like interesting shaped manhole covers. Maybe they're these long oblong things or something like that. I don't know. Be kind of cool. Definitely, I know I'm going to have to go back and correct some perspective issues here. I'm close, but... Oh, you owned a 71 Galaxy, so it used to fit with those other two? That's cool. I could do this. Let's see here. If you guys want to know how to find some perspective, you can take a point off of there. Let's see here. One that I want. Actually, I should probably line it up to the car because I don't want to do too much to the car. To change the angle of it and stuff. So it's probably about right there. If I bring that down. So obviously it's fairly high horizon line up there. Well, let's see. Let's see here. Probably raise my horizon line a little bit so I don't have to change as much. Probably about right. Man, it's way out here. Run another one off of here. I know that there's perspective tools and everything, but I think part of my problem is I just never found out how to use them in Photoshop, so, and I know how to figure out my own, so I just do this because I guess you could call me lazy, kind of, but see, look at that. I can already see that my car needs to be, the other thing needs to be kicked in some, or kicked out some, the other wheel well. Or whatever you want to call it, hover thing. So actually the horizon line will fall up here. So I'll bring it up there to match this point. So this needs to come back here. And then I'll bring another point off of that and make sure that I'm getting my front end right here. That's pretty good. That's working. That's working. So there we go. So I actually have, let's make that tad. I can mess it a little bit. So there's my perspective lines for this scene right here. So from there, you can create tons of lines. What you can do is, so where my vanishing points hit, I can make two cross things like this. This is actually, Scott Robertson showed me this a long time ago when I took his stuff. He would set up his grids like this to check his perspective. So, actually, a really cool way to do is you don't even have to line it up. You can make tons of lines everywhere. So you can do this. Then you can grab these points and bring them back in to the vanishing point area that you got going on. So then what you do with that, then you start to line it up to other things, you know, like say this car right here. Now this car, like even this other car like right in here, I think I might turn it a little bit more. And part of that is, one of my really bad habits is that you want your perspective to be accurate. But, so I would line up everything in perspective, and a lot of times that actually creates a very stale image, you know what I'm saying? Like what I do like is I like this car right here because it's coming in at an angle. It's not following any of these perspective grids. Same with this one over here. I'm realizing I need to tweak it a little bit. I don't like the look of it yet. But with this guy sitting here, I don't know, maybe he's parked right in front of him. And I'll do some other stuff, maybe dance the shadows across to give it some interest, some visual interest so it doesn't look all lined up on there. Yeah, you might be right on that, Dr. Feelgood. And that's why you want to do this stuff before you get super far into your piece. The lights might be off a little bit. And that's kind of why I'm doing this, to see where I'm at. So, in fact, see, you are right. So yeah, I mean, that's stuff that I can go back in and fix right now real easily. Then I'm not, then I don't have to go back and change it later, you know? It's good to lay that stuff out. So yeah, what you can do from there now, you can even create, I like to have, since you're in the process of doing this, oops, it's good to just create as many lines as you can for yourself, because that way it gives you lots of places you can line stuff up to. And so then I'll show you what you can do next so that you constantly have this grid available to you. So I'll go line all these up. Let's do a few more coming from the other side too. Never hurts to have too many. So I'll take these guys and put them on their vanishing point. Let's do another. I want one coming through here. I think the one thing too is that you learn how to use, or you get to know perspective a little bit better, I think, when you do some of this stuff on your own. See how, I mean, because I figured out my vanishing points that way and everything, and I understand it, you know. So what you can do here is we'll create a new layer, because I think I have, yeah, because that's some drawing there. So I'll create a new layer, and I'll take this and I'll stroke the path all in red. So I'll take all those paths now and stroke them all like that. Oh, you know what? I didn't have the other side selected too. So I'll select the brush. Actually, I'll probably go a hair smaller and then stroke all that. So now once you turn that pass off, you have all this underlay grid. And actually looking at that, I'll probably add a little bit more because I want a few more lines in there. And then you can actually lock the layer so that you don't start drawing on it. That's the last thing you want to do, start drawing on your grid layer, because then you have all these grids going through. So now I've got guidelines for myself to compare to, and like you said, like now I can look at these lights and see that they're off, like you were saying. So that hits about right there, so the next one will be right there, and these all need to come up some, you know, looking at that. So, yeah. So what you can do is, I usually turn this off and on, but So all those light. Let's I'll just flatten this image again. I don't even care. I don't like to work on a lot of layers, to be truthfully honest with you. So we can grab these lights right here. Just copy and paste that into a layer. Now I can skew that to match what's going on, right here. So we'll just say about right there. Then grab a few of these colors here and fill in that lower section. So yeah, once you get your perspective filled in, obviously it's easy to kind of figure that stuff out. So you wouldn't even see these all the way back here. Yeah. Anyways. And then I'll just go ahead and flatten that on there again. Whoops, don't want to flatten the whole thing. So I got a little more noise in the background, which is kind of what I wanted. Just a little bit more detail. Obviously, these are all out of perspective now. But again, easy to go back and fix right now that it's in its, loose stages. Man, I gotta get my brushes back in here too, man. I'm being lazy with that as well. I have some cool brushes that I used to use that I need to get back in here. There's one that I do want to try by that Mr. Jack guy that does the stuff for Blizzard. He's got this really cool brush that's like feathered on one side it's soft on one side and hard edged on the other. It's really cool. Does anybody have any questions or anything on what I'm working on, or I don't know if anybody's come in recently or not. Or people just lurking in the background. Make sure that my chat's not okay. Cool. I want to do some stuff to the ground. What do I want to do to the ground? Actually, I might. Let's see. What can I do to these cars? These guys need some loving. Yeah, you know, Dr. Feelgood, I'm gonna kind of go back to what we were talking about earlier about, you know, being on my own and stuff, and I mean, that was a really good time when I was on my own, but it was also super stressful. But I think deep down inside, I think, you know, I don't know if it's something that creative people have a lot of times, but I think there's always this nagging thing that comes up that you always want to just be on your own, you know? And I think I still have a lot of that, you know, I've just never been one to want to work for companies. I mean, like I said, I love what I do, don't get me wrong. I mean, I have a blast doing it, but I guess there's this deep down desire to just be my own, you know, have my own, like people hire me for my own style and reputation and stuff versus we want you to design this for our company. We want your style. You know, we want what you create, you know, for us versus here, create this, you know. Hey, Monsieur. What's up, man? How you doing? If you're wondering why I'm looking down, I have my phone with chat on down there because I don't have 2 monitors up yet. I've got to get that done soon so that I can put chat up above me. And looking at my phone's a pain because it's so small. I mean, really, this streaming thing just kind of, I just started it and really wasn't sure, I guess, what to expect out of it. I love it. So far, it's been a ton of fun, and I've gotten to know, you know, people that have followed me for a while, but, I mean, granted, I don't get to talk to you face to face, but it's cool to, at least I can have some interaction with you guys. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say I get the passion sucked out of me. I think it's just there's this, you know, thing in the back of my head that says, man, you know, I'm making the owner of this company a lot of money, and I'm not mad about that because the guy, you know, he's worked hard to get where he's at, and he's building something himself, and I just feel like, man, I wish I could work hard for myself and make that kind of money too. But, you know, I don't know. I tried it on my own for a while, and I just think there's, you know, there's obviously a lot involved, man, and you got to have a decent business sense, and you gotta want to know, you know, you gotta know how to do that stuff, and I'm thankful for guys like that because they obviously have kept me employed and fed and stuff like that. But yeah, deep down inside, I'm like, man, I want to be that guy. I want to. Now, some places I work for, I could say that, man, they did. They just sucked you dry, and you know, they don't really care. You know, they got what they needed out of you, and they're still getting what they need out of you. I don't feel that way right now. Oh, Monsieur, it's 8:15 there. Oh, okay. Now, I believe, didn't you come over from, did you come from, oh gosh, what's his stream? No, I can't think of it. The French Stallion. Did you come from his thing? Maybe you didn't. I don't remember. I just remember I got a few people come over from that. He sent a bunch of people my way, which was super cool. No, you didn't. Oh, okay. Oh, you're in Germany. Okay. There was a streamer that raided me one night, and it was that guy. He's crazy, man. He gets like he'll have like over 800 people in his stream, and he's doing the guitar like Rocksmith, that like guitar game. It's a crack up, man. Dude's nuts. He's entertaining, man. I will tell you that. He is very entertaining. He's a crack up. He's got a personality, that's for sure. But one night he raided my stream and had so many people come in, they broke it. It was pretty awesome. So that's why I was wondering if you came from there. I couldn't remember. Oh, I don't like that. That's ugly. Let's take that line off. Oh, you tuned in that day. Yeah, okay. I thought, yeah, that makes sense. So earlier I just worked on my card deck project, and then moved on to this Boba Fett piece, like Boba Fett hot rod thing. And so we're just talking about stuff, me and Dr. Feelgood. So it's nice to have you in here too. So this is just basically a scene I made up that was all about if Boba Fett built a hot rod. All the design characteristics of his car is basically from Slave One, his ship. And so right now I'm just going through and adding detail to all these pieces that were just kind of sitting there. So just creating a little more interest to the scene. But yeah, earlier I worked on the card deck. I was supposed to be working on the back of the box, but ended up figuring out I think it makes more sense to make it into the back of the cards than the deck box. So I'm probably going to call it a night here, though. I was telling everyone I got to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to take my brother to the airport, so I'm probably not going to stay on too much longer here. Oh, let me turn on my grid for this car right here. Yeah, so earlier I was showing how to make this grid. If you're at all interested, I figured out my vanishing points, which are way out here, based on the way my car was laid out, and then gave myself a quick grid right here to check my perspective. So it's always good to do that earlier on in the piece so you're not getting stuff out of whack. Because see, like for instance, this thing right here is off. That needs to get lined up about right there instead of back here. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, it seems like I think my stream might be in a really odd time. I know that several people, especially here in the States, it's really late for most people here. I'm on the Pacific time, so it's like 11:30 p.m. for me, and then on the East Coast, it's like 11, 12, 1, 2, so it's like 2 a.m. there. So I think I just unfortunately have an odd time that I'm streaming, but not much I can do about it because that's just the time I can do it. But like I said, if you ever miss streams too, man, all that stuff is saved. And I've actually been posting some of the stuff back on YouTube, so if you're so inclined, you could always watch it back on YouTube or on the channel below here. And then if you want to watch this stream too, just go back and rewatch it. I got a really good story in the beginning if you want to hear it. I'll probably highlight my story that I told because it was crazy. So do you watch any other streamers that are in yeah, just for Europeans. Yeah, that's right. Dr. Feelgood's over in Australia. What there's another guy that I watched on here that's from Germany. I think he goes by the name of TK something. TK Arts, I think. He does a lot of like medieval type stuff. He's got some really nice line work though. I like his line work. Now that I look at this, I think this thing shifted over wrong too. So if we... Well, that's about the center line right there. So the center line would come up about right there. I don't know. It's not too far off. Let's give it a tail wing now. Looks kind of cool. Really, all this stuff that I'm drawing here is just filler, man. I'm not super concerned about the design. I'm not going to like detail out these things at all. They're more to create some interesting shapes to catch some light is what I'm thinking about while I'm doing this. Yeah, the grid thing is awesome, man. That's I don't know. Maybe you understand how it already works, but basically, I just figured out my vanishing point. I used the Boba Fett car as my base to figure out the grid. So I just took points off of it that I knew lined up right. You know, obviously the tail wing thingies that are sticking out here followed the. I just took those all the way out to till they met at the vanishing point. I hope you understand this. You know what? Just go watch the stream. You can see exactly how I did it. I'm all trying to explain it. You'll be able to see it. You'll figure it out real quick. It's not incredibly difficult. It's actually all training I got from Scott Robertson and his perspective stuff. So. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get, let's see, I think I'm feeling pretty decent about the way this is going now, so I will probably call it a night, guys. I still think something's off here. I feel like this either needs to get pulled out a little bit more or that needs to come in this way more. I think maybe that's probably what it needs. But although this feels, if I measure the distance here, it feels right. It's like if I go from this edge to the center line and follow that over like to the other side, that distance looks about right, to be honest with you. So I think I am there. I'll rest my eyes for a little bit and come back to it. Turn that grid off. So all right. Yeah, I think this is going to turn into a pretty cool piece in the long run. the guy that was here earlier, Zabertech, I think. I think he left. Anyways, these Cheetos were all for him. Boba Fett and his Cheetos here. See, he's got stuff all over his pants and everything. And he's got the Cheeto on the car. It's kind of funny. And his little crumbs underneath his mask. It's a funny little story. So anyways, let me take a look at chat real quick before I go. You're trying to build up an ArtStation portfolio for fun next to a design job and 2 kids. Yeah, that can take a lot, man. I got 4 kids, so it can be done, I promise you. You just got to schedule it in. And any free moment you got, if you're doing stuff to waste your time, get rid of the stuff that wastes your time and do the important stuff. Obviously, spending time with your family is important. But other things like, I don't know, video games or watching TV, you can get rid of that stuff easily. You can make it work. Yeah, right on. No problem, Dr. Feelgood. Thanks for coming out again. I appreciate, and also you too, Monsieur. I appreciate you guys coming back to the stream and checking out what I'm doing. It's always nice to see people coming back. I must be somewhat entertaining or educational, one of the two or both. So thanks again, guys. I will be back on for sure on Thursday night. I'll start at 9 p.m. again. And like I said, if anybody's wanting to see the past streams, they're all in the VOD down below. You can just go to channel, and all of them are listed there. And then I also have my YouTube channel, which is listed below, so you can catch some of the past streams on that. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks again for coming out.